Hello, I'm Athauda. My ID number is MS18910650. This is for the assignment wireless network technologies for my MSc in IT. As the content, first I'm going to talk protocol standard forms, and second about OSI 7 layers. Next one is signal, and then frequency domain and time domain. Next transmission media, and digital to digital conversion and analog to digital conversion. Then digital modulation, and other than AM and DM, multiplexing, random access protocols. As a final, channel assessment protocol. If we talk about protocols, it's like a set of rules or procedures for transmitting data between network and devices. It's like such as computers. There are three types of transmission protocols. First one is transmission control protocol. We call that TCP is normally. Then next one is we heard about UDP. It's user diagram protocols, and the final one is file transfer protocol. We heard about that in clear. It's FTP. Here you can see some sample diagram about these kind of protocols. Uh, if you are going to next slide, it is about standard. Uh, it is like a public or private sector. It is a domestic or international, other than organization and proposal development, like that way, and coordinate vulnerable standard. As we talk about example, American National Standard Institute (ANSI). We done European Union Standard Organization. Uh, Here we can see as a diagram from the below level to up level. What are the standard organization we can refer. And here we are going to talk about forms. There can be some kind of forms like internet forms, message about, like that way. Uh, we can gather information about online discussion sites, and people can hold convocation in their form of posted messages, like that way. Here in the below we have presenting a sample of uh, images about forms. Next one is ISO 7 layers. It's like our BSc degree. Application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, and data link layer, physical layer. uh, Next one is about signal. If we talk about the signal is analog and digital. Actually based analog is like our uh, like unstoppable data bundle. Is it means coming values are coming not like 1 and 0. It is coming many signals in a one array. It is different to difference from another signal to another signal. So digital signals are only have two types, and one is current is on, 0 is current is off, like that way. Below I have pointed as analog signal and digital signal difference. Analog signal containers, digital signal discrete. Analog signal infinite range of values, as I said before. Digital signal finite range of values. Like that way we can talk about digital signal, analog signal uh, in this site. Uh, on this side, I'm going to go out signals. Under signals, we are talking about amplitude and period. If we talk about amplitude, here you can see this image shows amplitude means height, like that, and the peak and amplitude. It is like the height of the signal. The next one is a period. It is taking as a circle. Here you can see one half of the circle and other half of the circle. It is taking both two. We can make a circle, one like a full circle, like that way. Amplitude and periodically we talked about, like that way. Under signal, next time I'm going to talk about frequency and phase. If you talk about frequency number of occurrence in the repeating event unit per time. In the below, I have shown some example about the frequency, and the second one is phase. It is like a distance between the first zero crossing and the point in space, like defined as the origin. Here you can see there's a one wave in blue color, it is the second one is in the same type going through it. If we talk about in the next one, under signal, it is wavelength and bandwidth. It's like wavelength is like a inversely related to frequency. Refer the number of wave cycles per second. It is the cycles per second of waves. It is taking the height of frequency of the signal, the shorter than the wavelength. After we're talking about the bandwidth, band is the total range of the frequencies associated with the signal or device or channel. Here you can see, for example, for bandwidth, f1 to f2, what is the difference between through middle of the peak. Uh, Next time I want to talk about frequency domain and time domain. If we talk about frequency domains can be separate conceptually the since wave that added from the complex time domain to a signal. And the time domain is the time domain gives the amplitude of the signal of the instruction of time during which was in sampled. Here you can see some below sampled as the frequency domain and time domain. The next one is I'm going to talk about transmission media. Transmission media can be divided attenuation, distraction. Here you can see attenuation like measurement of energy absorbed and deflected as it is passed through a medium like guided media and guided media, like that kind of mediums. Here you can see some examples, analog signals how is going there in a race, digital signal 1 and 0, and the attenuation is like distortion of the signal. It is destroying the from the, if we going out 100 meters, if you talk about UTBT cable, it is going 100 meters. After that signal is going distortion. If it is a digital signal, and finally it is maybe a analog type, like that way signal can be distortion. Here you can see the original signal how is going, and finally how it can be a distortion, like that way. Here you can understand what about attenuation and distortion. This is a summary of transmission media. You can see the main one is transmission media. We can divide into guided media. It's like wired. Other one is unguided media. Guided media, there's a coaxial cable like in our TVs, the CCTV cameras. The fiber optic is the world the fastest media in the these days. Next one is twisted pair. It can be shielded and unshielded. Shielded is a like aluminium cover coming around the cable. Unshielded, only the twisted cables covering a plastic cover. And unguided media is radio waves, microwaves, infrared. You can see microwaves using satellite. We can release 36,000 kilometers for satellite transmission. Infrared can be transmitted to another device without a barrier. If there's a barrier in between transmitter and receiver, it can be signal damage. Like that way, radios can be like data we are using Bluetooth, that kind of thing. Next one is digital to digital conversion and analog to digital conversion. Here you can see one computer, another computer sending a signal. Both are digital, so that way that computer need to send a signal to data to another computer. So we need to convert into digital to digital. So both are using same platform, digital to digital. So that way we are converting digital signal to digital. And the next one is analog to digital conversion. Actually, we are taking our data life in modems, modulation and demodulation. It is also same like that way, analog to digital, right? If we're talking about telephone lines, we are using analog signals. For that, telephone lines taking analog to through modems, we are converting digital because computers and TVs are using digital signals. Like that, we can understand what are the difference between digital and analog digital from this side. On this side, talking about digital modulation, we can divide three type: amplitude, frequency, phase shift keying. Amplitude is like represent digital data to variation in the amplitude of the carrier waves, and the frequency shift keying is a digital information is transferred to a discrete frequency change of a carrier signal. And the finally, phase shifting keys is PSK. Conveys data by changing modulation to paste a reference signal, like the carrier wave. Here you can see there's some example I have given. ASK modulated signal, FSK modulated signal, how it's going, PSK modulated signal going, and the base data is how is here, and how ASK, FSK, PSK in the as example. Next one is AM and FM, like amplitude modulation and frequency modulation. If we talk about AM occurs when carrier wave is modified according to the data. Okay. Next one is FM. You can see FM occurs where frequency of the carrier waves modifies according to the signal that carries information. Here you can see example I have given. The carrier signal is in the top, then how it is modulating waves, and then after the modulated result you can see the fixed signal is going, then it is changing, the again is fixed. Like that way we can understand AM how is going occurs when carrier wave is modified, how is FM. Okay. Next one is next talking about multiplexing. Mainly multiplexing divided into frequency division multiplexing, wavelength division multiplexing, and time division multiplexing. uh, Under time division multiplexing, we are using synchronous and asynchronous TDM. Next one is talking about random access protocols. We are dividing random access protocol into three types: ALOHA, CSMA, OCD, CSMA, CA, like that way. Uh, Next one is channelization protocols. The first one is time division multiple access (TDMA) and frequency division multiple access (FDMA). If we talk about TDMA, time division multiple access, each user is allowed to transmit only within a specific time interval. It kind of like a time slots. Different users transmit in different time slot. If we talk about FDM, FDM is used to multiplex continuous signal. Like each user transmit to no limitation of the time, but using only portion of the whole available frequency bandwidth. Like that, different users are spread in the frequency domain. Okay. Okay, and finally, I hope you could understand about wireless sensor networking, like TDMA, CSMA, DTDMA, like that protocols, how is going, analog digital, how is going, how what are the difference between them, like that I think you got an understand about something, got knowledge something about this subject. So in file I'm selling to say thank you.